Hi, thanks for watching the installation video on the new high-low speed adjusters for Walker Evans 2.5 inch shocks, which most people know comes stock on Razor 1000s, and it also will fit a lot of the aftermarket Walker Evans shocks that are out there that are 2.5. Why do people want to install this? Basically, it is a true high and low speed adjuster. The way that this was designed, the high speed adjuster only affects high speed. It won't cross over into low speed. What this allows you to do is really fine tune the car. A lot of adjusters and the current limitations of just a single speed adjuster is you are always crossing over into each area. With a true high-low speed adjuster, it'll allow you to fine tune the car to new levels that just aren't achievable with standard adjusters. Well, let's get at it and let's get this in here. Alright, the first step is we need to let out the nitrogen. We can't pull anything apart without nitrogen coming out of the shock first. We have the shock off the car right now, and it's in a vise. Adjuster is up, and we want to keep that angled up so that no air can enter the shock. If you angle it right on actually the car and put towels all around this area, because a little bit of oil will come out, but you can actually change these on the car without removing the shock. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is let out the nitrogen. Just pull off the cap, and there you go. Make sure it's all out, everything's good. And then we're going to use the 1/8 Allen key and remove the stock knob. Sometimes these are a little bit stuck, but you can just go ahead and wait till it backs out. And then let's go ahead and turn this all the way out. We won't be reusing any of these parts. They are just coming out. The adjuster knob on these can be a little bit difficult to remove. So what I'm going to do is just use a flat blade screwdriver and just slowly work my way around it to get it to pop off. If you have a little bit bigger screwdriver, it helps, or even a small pry bar. You just have to slowly work it up, and you can feel it twisting, but it's basically pressed onto a knurl, so it does take a little bit of force to get it to pop off. So if it's tight, don't be worried about it. Here we go. Set those to the side. Alright, now we're ready to remove the adjuster itself. We're going to grab the SDi tool, the 4-prong tool, to remove the stock adjuster. We know the nitrogen's out. You're going to want to go line up the 4 pins. Sometimes these pins can get a little bit full of dirt, or even from when you have the screwdriver in there. Just give it a little bit of a tap, make sure that it's completely flush. We're good to go on there. I'm going to go ahead and put my ratchet back in, and we're going to go ahead and loosen this up. And just spin this right back. And there you go, you have the low speed adjuster. Now you're going to grab the 3-prong tool, and this takes out the piston assembly that's down in the thing. As you can see, the handle slides, so if you need more leverage, these can sometimes be tight. As you push this in, just push it in slowly and just twist it till you can feel the tool engage the spots in the side of the piston. Like I said, right now I'm pushing it through and oil slowly bleeding it out. So you have to just be patient with it. Now that I'm connected, I'm going to pull this out, and this one really wasn't too tight. Sometimes these will require a bit of force. Legend has it they have a giant that puts them in on a night shift named Bob. So now I'm going to pull this piston out, and there is a little bit of suction behind it. Now that the piston is loose, just grab a pair of needle nose pliers, and there you go. You can pull out the piston assembly. Alright, now we're ready to install the new one. The first step is actually we got to remove it from the package, and we need to remove the handles off the adjuster so we can install it. So go ahead, pop this open, and grab the adjuster. It usually stays all together, but this piston assembly technically can fall out, so just hold it in your hand so things don't drop. And we're just going to go and take a small Allen key. It's in there loose, it's not a big deal. And we're going to pop off the low speed adjuster knob, and we're going to go ahead and take off the high speed knob. Both of them are just put on there loose so that it's easy to take off. Alright, now we're ready to install the new adjuster. First thing to do is to install the adapter piece, which basically all you have to use is a 1/2 inch extension. We're going to go ahead and stick that on there. Go nice and slow so you don't get yourself with oil. Turn that in, make sure everything's good. And then grab a ratchet, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to torque this to, you can torque this to around 25 foot-pounds, 30 newtons, and that will lock it in tight. Go ahead and put that to the side. Next, you're going to see that is a little bit of oil gone. I am going to tilt this slightly this way, just to make sure that the port going into the reservoir, that we're completely full of oil, that we're not going to introduce any air. It did get a little, and I don't know if you can hear that, but I am getting a little bit of air out of it because I did allow it to get too low. And now that I got all the air out of the system, go ahead, stick that back in the vise. There we go. And I'm going to top it off with oil. If you go and add oil as soon as you pull out the low speed knob, you're going to run into that problem. You just always keep it above the orifice into the reservoir, and you're going to be fine. Alright, now that we have the oil full, we're going to go ahead and install the adjuster. It's always best to get a little bit of grease on the threads and make sure that the outside O-ring is greased. I'm going to go ahead and install it. I like to just work it in slowly. With the holes on the top that are just below the O-ring, when you drop it in slowly and as you screw it in, what it does is allow all the air to come out, so we are just doing oil. So I'm going to go ahead, make sure now it's started right. Alright, now that we got the adjuster all the way in, we're going to use our torque wrench, and we're going to go ahead and torque this to 20 foot-pounds, which is right around 25 newtons. And now our adjuster's in. So basically the last step we have right now is we need to go and add the high-speed knob. As you'll see, there's a flat and there is a set screw to hold it on. What you need to do is locate that onto the outside high-speed shaft, and go ahead, and it's a 50 thousandths Allen key. Just hold it flat and steady on the adjuster, and go ahead and turn in the set screw. Go ahead, you got it almost bottomed. And get it nice and snug. There we go. The next step is going to be go and adjust the low speed handle, which has also got a D shape to it, and you need to find the D shape on the brass low speed shaft, and we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. You can use your fingers to hold that stable. If it's a little bit hard, you could use pliers and use a rag on it so you don't scratch anything, but just using your fingers, get that nice and snug and it won't come apart. I prefer now, just seeing as we just touched it, let's set the clicks on it, and that way we know we're in the right position. Another benefit to these adjusters is they do have high and low speed clicks, and like a high-low speed adjuster on motocross bikes, you have to count turns. With these, we just count clicks. So on the high speed, our recommended starting setting is right in the middle. It's basically 7 and 7. If you wanted to have a little bit more of a performance setting, I would say start at 5 and 5. I'm going to go ahead. And now I got the high speed set at 7, and we're going to go ahead and do the same with the low speed. And actually, right now, all right, now we're in the clicker set and we're good to go. So the last thing that's left is we just need to charge the shock back up with nitrogen. I know some people are going to say, well, we're not pulling the cap off, and about setting the free piston height in the reservoir. We've added such a little bit of oil, and the way that the oil bleeds out of here, it's such a minimal difference. This will maybe move 20 thousandths at the very most, so it's well within tolerance of the factory. Walker Evans, the stock nitrogen pressure is 200. On a lot of cars will go, and more desert and stuff will run 175, but for most people the 200 OEM, especially if it's more for performance, you're going to be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and charge this with nitrogen. Now we're ready to put nitrogen. We're going to use our SDi nitrogen gauge. Go ahead and spin that on. There you go. And nitrogen's right here. And we're just going to go ahead and pressurize this up. We're perfect. We're right at 200. I'm going to screw our zero loss gauge. It's always nice to do this with a true zero loss gauge. That way you know the nitrogen you're putting in is there. When you just hit it with an air fitting, when you pull it off, you have no idea how much you're losing. And then we'll just go ahead and stick the valve cap back on, and we're done.